In a dazzling luxury showroom where every gleaming surface radiated wealth and prestige, a woman named Sarah Thompson slipped in unnoticed, cloaked in a gray hoodie and worn sneakers, brushed off and disrespected. Yet, when she calmly pulled out her phone and softly declared, "This is Sarah Thompson," the room fell silent, stunned. What unfolded wasn't merely a clash. It was a seismic reckoning that rocked her empire and forced her staff to rethink power, respect, and justice. Dear viewer, prepare to witness more than a story. It's a bold testament to quiet strength and the fight for fairness in overlooked places. If you're new here, I warmly invite you to drop your location in the comments below. And if stories like this stir you, challenge you, or spark reflection, hit subscribe and tap the bell icon. We amplify voices that demand to be heard daily. Thank you for joining us. Now, dive into the story.
It was a crisp morning in Chicago's vibrant business district. People rushed past shimmering glass towers under the early sun. The sharp click of heels on pavement, mixed with the soft hum of electric cars threading through tight streets. Amid the flow of sharp suits and designer heels, a woman in a faded gray hoodie and old jeans moved quietly, nearly unseen. That woman was Sarah Thompson. If anyone had paused to truly see her, they might have noticed her spotless sneakers, her commanding posture, or the confident glint in her eyes beneath a baseball cap. But they didn't. They glanced, dismissed her, and moved on. Sarah wasn't just anyone. She was the CEO of Thompson Auto Group, a name revered in high finance and splashed across Forbes headlines. Her empire covered 15 luxury car dealerships throughout Illinois, pioneering eco-luxury vehicles that redefined automotive success. Today, though, she was on a mission, one that could shatter the values she believed her brand upheld if her suspicions proved true. The Thompson Auto flagship on Michigan Avenue sparkled in the morning light. Vast windows showcased sleek Teslas, polished Porsches, and rare Aston Martins, displayed like fine art. Inside, the air was cool, scented with leather and chrome. Staff in crisp suits flashed practiced smiles, ready for the next big spending client. Sarah stepped in, her jeans brushing the glossy marble floor as she reached the showroom's heart. She lingered by the entrance, hands in her hoodie's pockets, fully aware of her plan. She was testing her team, entrusted to embody her vision of inclusivity and respect. But whispers had reached her. Too many tales from quiet sources pointing to a discriminatory culture brewing in her flagship store. The receptionist, a tall man with slicked back hair and a name tag reading James, looked up from his screen. His smile flickered briefly when he saw Sarah. He offered no greeting, instead returning to his keyboard, ignoring her presence. Sarah sensed the room's chill deepen. She cleared her throat gently. "Excuse me, I'd like to check out the new hybrid sports cars." James glanced up, his smile thin and curt. "Sorry, ma'am. Those start at $125,000. Are you sure you're in the right spot?" His tone stung, sharp and intentional. Around them, staff hurried to serve well-dressed customers arriving after Sarah, offering lattes from the in-house barista, treating them like VIPs. Sarah stood alone, overlooked. "I'm certain," Sarah replied, her voice cool but firm. "I want to see the new models." James paused, his eyes scanning her outfit, struggling to match her request with her look. With a smug nod, he pointed to a corner. "Sure, they're over there, but they're locked. We need pre-qualification paperwork first. Company policy." Sarah's gut tightened. This wasn't policy. She'd spent years crafting rules prioritizing respect and equality. Yet her staff was creating barriers based on her appearance. Before she could respond, a voice broke the tension. "Excuse me." A blonde in a tailored Chanel suit stepped beside Sarah. "I've been waiting, and I'd like to see those models too." James's face lit up, his smile warm and eager. "Of course, Miss Harrington. Right this way." He gestured grandly, bending over backward to please her. Sarah watched, the stark contrast prickling her skin. The woman got a full tour, complete with detailed specs and a free espresso. Sarah remained invisible in her own showroom, branded with her name. As she stood, stunned by the audacity, a broad-shouldered security guard with a buzz cut approached. "Ma'am," he said coldly, "I need you to leave. Management wants to keep the showroom exclusive." Sarah's pulse raced, but her face stayed composed, a skill honed over decades. "You're asking me to leave because I don't look like her?" she asked, nodding toward Miss Harrington. The guard's jaw clenched. "Just doing my job." Sarah's lips formed a tight, controlled smile. "So am I," she said softly, her voice heavy with quiet authority. She pulled out her phone, hand steady, and dialed a familiar number. The showroom seemed to hold its breath. Chatter faded. Tension thickened. "Yes, this is Sarah Thompson," she said into the phone. "I'm at our flagship. I need the district manager here now." Her words were icy, precise, and lethal. She hung up and pocketed the phone. Her gaze swept the room, James, the guard, the sales team, even the customers. It was a silent vow. The reckoning was just starting, and they were unprepared. When the call ended, Sarah Thompson stood at her showroom center, silence heavy like a secret about to explode. James fidgeted at the desk, his smirk gone, sensing something was deeply wrong. The guard, who'd touched her arm, seemed to weigh his job's odds. Sales staff, recently fawning over richer clients, shifted nervously, eyes darting between Sarah and the entrance. For 10 minutes, tension tightened with each second. Sarah stood still, her calm contrasting the staff's restless moves. She wasn't just waiting for the district manager. She was letting silence fill the room, giving everyone a moment to reflect on their morning's choices. Finally, the glass doors burst open with a gust of cold air. A man in a sharp navy suit strode in, phone to his ear. Seeing Sarah, his steps faltered, his voice breaking as he ended the call. This was Michael Carter, district manager for Thompson Auto's Midwest operations. His usually confident face was pale, panic rising. "Miss Thompson," he said urgently, approaching, eyes scanning the frozen staff and customers. "I wasn't expecting—" Sarah's gaze silenced him. "Clearly," she said, her voice calm but cutting. "Walk with me." They moved to a quiet corner, but her voice carried, meant for the staff who'd ignored her. "I came here undercover today," she said, tone smooth but sharp. "I wore casual clothes, drove an old car, and watched how my team treated those who didn't fit the mold. What I saw wasn't just bad service, it was blatant discrimination." Michael's face tightened, color draining. "Ms. Thompson, I had no idea." "That's the issue, Michael," Sarah said softly. "You should have known. You should have ensured our staff upheld our values, respect, equality, integrity. Instead, I was dismissed, insulted, and threatened in my own store." A collective gasp spread through the room. Her words' weight was clear. Customers eavesdropping now stared, realizing the hoodie-clad woman was Thompson Auto's powerhouse. James's face paled. He looked like a man on a cliff's edge, too late to step back. I didn't know it was you," he stammered, arrogance crumbling into panic. Sarah's smile was slow and devastating. "That's the point," she said. "Respect shouldn't hinge on knowing someone's identity. It should come from their humanity, their right to dignity." She turned to Michael. "I need you to see this, Michael. This isn't about one bad day or one clueless employee. It's a systemic problem, a culture festering under your watch." Michael nodded shakily. "I'll fix it, Miss Thompson." I swear Sarah's voice cut like a blade, steady and precise. "No more promises. Action. I'm firing James immediately. The security guard, too. We're auditing this location's hiring, training, and service practices. Her words landed like hammer strikes, final and absolute. James's face fell, his bravado shattered. The guard's lips parted, but no words came, only the dawning of his career's end. Sarah's gaze swept the showroom. To everyone else, let this be a lesson. This company was built on respect and inclusion, on the belief that everyone walking through these doors deserves dignity. If you can't live that, you don't belong here. Her tone held no rage, just the quiet, fearsome authority of someone who knew her worth and her principles' weight. The moment pressed on every soul, forcing them to face their choices' consequences. Michael cleared his throat, stepping closer. "What do you need from me today, Ms. Thompson?" Her eyes locked on his. "Oversee this location's immediate overhaul. Every employee gets retraining. Every discriminatory practice gets rooted out. You'll report to me weekly until I'm convinced this culture is fixed." Michael nodded, his confidence gone, replaced by humbled awareness of the task ahead. Sarah faced the staff, her voice ringing clear, silencing whispers and footsteps. You can't know someone's story by their look. You don't know their worth, struggles, or triumphs. You don't know their power. Today, you've learned judging by appearance isn't just bad business. It's a moral failure. Her words settled, her presence unshakable. With a final look at Michael, she said, "You know what to do. Don't make me return to finish this." With that, Sarah Thompson turned and walked out the glass doors, her revelation echoing like a challenge, a promise, a storm clearing the way for something new. News of Sarah's unannounced visit swept through the Michigan Avenue dealership like a silent tsunami. News of Sarah's unannounced visit swept through the Michigan Avenue dealership like a silent tsunami. Staff whispered behind display cases, glancing at the entrance where she'd left her mark. Customers, some aware of the drama, lingered, eyes wide, as if watching history unfold. In her glass-walled office, Sarah faced Michael Carter, her district manager, now visibly shaken. His suit hung limp, weighed by her revelations. Her tone, composed but edged, hinted at the storm brewing. "I won't tolerate this anymore, Michael," she said, voice low and deliberate. "You saw it yourself. This place's culture has decayed. Disrespect, bias, and arrogance have overtaken the values we built this on. Today isn't about fixing one mistake. It's about purging a toxic mindset." Michael nodded, throat dry. "I get it, Ms. Thompson. I'll fire James and the guard, bring in new trainers, revamp hiring, and mandate ethics training across all sites." Sarah's eyes sharpened. "It's not just about rules. It's about people. It's about the message we send to every employee and customer. I built this company on non-negotiable respect. Today, that was broken. This isn't one incident. It's a deeper rot." The showroom doors opened, and Elizabeth Harper, Sarah's legal counsel and compliance officer, entered in a gray pantsuit, carrying a leather briefcase with a no-nonsense look. Her heels clicked, amplifying the tension. "Elizabeth," Sarah nodded. "You've seen the security footage." Elizabeth opened her briefcase, pulling out a tablet with surveillance clips. Images showed James's hostile stance, the guards' aggressive moves, and staff's dismissive smirks, undeniable evidence. "Every move, every word is recorded," Elizabeth said evenly. "No ambiguity. We have clear proof of discrimination, harassment, and misconduct." Sarah turned to Michael. "Remove those responsible today. I want them gone. Work with HR and legal to handle this quickly and fairly. By tomorrow morning, I want a plan to rebuild trust with our staff and customers." Her expectations weighed heavily on Michael. He nodded, resolute. "Understood. Ms. Thompson?" Sarah stood, ending the meeting. "This isn't about saving face. It's about restoring integrity. Every manager, salesperson, and employee must represent our values. If they can't, they're out. As Michael and Elizabeth left, Sarah took a moment to breathe. Through the glass, she saw James, pale and shaken, called by HR. His protests were muted by the tension. The guard, once authoritative, stood frozen, his downfall sinking in. But Sarah's reckoning went beyond firings. To change the culture, she needed to reach the hearts of those still there, the silent witnesses to the old order's collapse. She stepped to the showroom center, voice clear and unwavering. "To everyone here," she began, firm yet compassionate, "today isn't about shame or punishment. It's about justice. It's about ensuring every person entering these doors, no matter who they are or how they look, gets dignity and respect." Staff listened in silence, some fearful, others awakening. "I don't want apologies or excuses," Sarah continued. "I want change. I want you to reflect and commit to better. This is your chance to show you grasp what this company stands for." Her words settled like a mantle, heavy with meaning. Customers watching stood taller, sensing a transformation not just for a business, but for a community. Sarah's gaze softened, her resolve firm. "I built this company not just for profit, but to create spaces where people feel valued, safe, respected. Today, that vision was betrayed. But this isn't the end. It's a new chapter where we rebuild trust and uphold the highest standards." She turned to Michael. "Make it happen. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now." Sarah walked toward the exit, steps measured, radiating authority and hope. At the glass doors, she glanced back at her stunned staff and expectant customers. "This is our reckoning," she said softly, her words echoing like a vow. "It starts today." The next morning, Sarah sat alone in her office, sunlight streaming through vast windows, casting shadows on sleek decor. Her polished look bore traces of sleepless hours. Yesterday's events, confrontation, proof of bias, swift firings, lingered. But today was about beginnings, reclaiming what was lost. She rose, hand steady on her oak desk, holding a worn leather notebook filled with years of notes, visions, and lessons. She opened to a page marked, "Trust is earned every day." Downstairs, staff gathered in the conference room, quiet and uncertain. Many had seen the old norms crumble. Some felt clarity, others apprehension. Sarah entered, silencing chatter. Her presence commanded, but a softer expression contrasted yesterday's steel. "I know yesterday was tough," she began, voice resonant. "Some of you wonder what's next. Let me be clear. This company isn't about yesterday, but who we choose to be today." She scanned the room. Thompson Auto stands for excellence, not just in sales or revenue, but in how we treat each other, our clients, and the integrity in every interaction. Her voice deepened. "Yesterday broke my heart, not for business losses, but for what it cost us as humans. When we let bias grow, when arrogance drives us, we betray each other and ourselves." Silence thickened. Sarah breathed, hands on the table. "But I believe in second chances. People can grow. We can rebuild." The door opened, and Elizabeth Harper, compliance officer, entered with a binder of new policies. Behind her, David Mitchell, HR consultant, carried folders. Sarah gestured to them. "Today starts a new chapter. Every employee, from front desk to management, gets ongoing training in ethics, diversity, respect, the foundation we rebuild on." Her tone was firm, encouraging. "New hiring practices will value integrity, empathy. Candidates will be judged on skills and values. Promotions will reflect those values." A young sales associate raised her hand. Sarah nodded. "Ms. Thompson, "How do we regain clients' trust?" she asked softly. Sarah met her eyes. "By showing, not telling, who we are. We'll seek feedback, own mistakes, deliver exceptional service that proves change. For those disrespected, we'll make it right." She smiled faintly. Trust isn't promised. It's practiced. It's earned in quiet moments, greeting a customer, handling concerns, speaking to each other. Trust grows between transactions. David distributed folders with plans for changes, new protocols, outreach, community programs, showing the dealership's commitment to fairness. Elizabeth added, "We'll form a customer advisory board with community leaders, clients, staff. They'll guide policies, ensure transparency." Sarah's eyes shone with resolve. This isn't just policy. It's a culture shift. It's about a place where everyone feels valued. Mistakes are fixed. Dignity isn't exclusive. The room buzzed with cautious optimism. Staff nodded, some showing hope's first sparks. As the meeting ended, Sarah spoke once more. "What we build now defines Thompson Auto's future and our character. Let's make it something we're proud of." Staff left with purpose, not just instructions. Sarah lingered, heart steady. The road ahead was long, but worth walking, paved with accountability, integrity, and trust, rebuilt daily. Weeks later, Sarah's resolve reshaped Thompson Auto. Where opulence once hid indifference, respect and dignity now thrived. Her actions were a wake-up call that success lies in human decency, not sales. New protocols became living practices. Meetings started with value reflections. Respect and accountability replaced old biases. Sales staff were judged on feedback and kindness, not just numbers. Clients noticed. Initially skeptical, they soon felt the warmth in greetings, patience in service, and genuine gratitude. Their doubts faded as change proved real. Sarah was ever present, not a figurehead, but a guide. She joined training, listened to staff, mentored newcomers, sharing her rise from obscurity. Her openness about failures showed leadership was about perseverance, humility. This wasn't rebranding, it was rebirth. At a company-wide meeting, Sarah stood, voice calm yet powerful. Every step since that day honors the truth. No one is lesser, no one invisible. We've seen power misused, assumptions rule, but now we choose a path where all are respected. The applause was soft, heartfelt, laying a legacy's foundation. Sarah's journey transformed Thompson Auto and inspired others. Her push for change over revenge sparked industry-wide talks on business responsibility. Her legacy wasn't the scandal, but the grace in rebuilding. Thompson Auto became a symbol of redemption, resilience, and the truth that respect, once lost, can be restored with relentless integrity. Sarah Thompson's story was more than a black CEO facing bias in her dealership. It was proof of dignity's resilience, leadership's power, and the demand for respect against prejudice. From her disguised entry, her calm observations exposed deep biases in her business. She saw her staff's indifference and disrespect toward those not fitting privileged molds. Her humiliation, met with composure, set the stage for a reckoning that changed her company's culture. Her confrontation wasn't revenge, it was grace under fire. Revealing herself as CEO, the silence wasn't just shock, it shattered assumptions, exposed biases, and proved power's many faces. By publicly challenging her staff, she didn't just wield authority. She showed integrity was non-negotiable, every person deserving respect. Sarah didn't stop at punishment. Firings were swift, just, but only the start. She led sweeping reforms, mandatory diversity training, hiring for character, embedding inclusion and empathy in the company's core. She mentored staff, fostering open dialogue and respect, not just encouraged, but demanded. Her goal wasn't image-saving. It was soul-restoring. Sarah rebuilt Thompson Auto into a beacon of equity, setting an example for business. Her story showed leadership isn't titles or looks. It's courage, humility, justice. Change comes from deliberate action, valuing principles over profit. Her lessons echo beyond the dealership. In a world rife with bias, her story calls us to look past appearances, challenge assumptions, treat all with dignity. In business, community, or relationships, equity starts with shared humanity and facing hard truths. For leaders, Sarah's story is a guide. Power demands protecting the vulnerable, fighting injustice, building inclusive cultures. For those facing prejudice, her journey offers hope. Perseverance and integrity can reshape biased systems. Reflect on Sarah Thompson's story. Let it inspire action, speaking against injustice, creating spaces where respect is practice, not policy. Every day offers a chance to choose compassion over judgment, integrity over indifference, courage over silence. If this story moves you to stand for justice and respect, hit subscribe and share it with your community. Together, we can amplify stories challenging prejudice and celebrating resilience. Stay tuned for more stories that spark change and lift the human spirit.